I am the defender of the weak. I am the stalker of devils. I am the blade of frontiers.
The Blade of Frontiers. Minsk understands, of course, but you might explain for Boo. This is the name you started with, yes?
So, the Blade of Frontiers. You didn't want to trade it for a flashier name?
So you didn't fancy sharpening up the old moniker? I'd have thought the Blade of Frontiers might be feeling a bit dull after all you've been through.
The Blade of Frontiers, eh? No need to tamper with the classics, I suppose.
The Blade of Frontiers. One might think you finished where you started.
I do not know how you can be the Blade of Frontiers again, after all we have seen and done. The past is dead.
The Blade of Frontiers. A long way around just to finish where you started at, Will.
The Blade of Frontiers. It seems you have come full circle.
A noble chant, is it not? Hail Will, Blade of Frontiers! No, Boo, I still do not understand what it means.
It seems the Blade of Frontiers legend will only grow from here. I don't know if Faerun needed another hero, but Will seems happy. I suppose that counts for something.
A perfect circle. Will began as the coast's champion. It's right he should remain as such.
It seems that Will's determined to remain the Blade of Frontiers. I suppose he's truly earned the moniker now.
Will would be wiser to leverage his family name for a position of power in Baldur's Gate than to roam the wilds like some errant ranger.
The people of Faerun will be well served with Will as their champion. The Blade of Frontiers. A fitting title for one so steeled with purpose.
It seems that Will's determined to remain the Blade of Frontiers. I suppose he's truly earned the moniker now.
The Blade of Frontiers. May the tortured rhymes recounting your deeds continue.
The Blade of Frontiers is no more. I will be Will Ravengard, son of Uldar, proud Duke of Baldur's Gate.
Grand Duke Will Ravengard. Oh. Tell me, should I genuflect or merely bow?
Forget the bowing. I'd rather share a cheap brown ale and a hunk of fresh venison. You in?
I'll pass on the ale, but the company sounds delightful.
Will Ravengard. Boo usually advises Minsk in matters of politeness, but he is uncertain whether we ought to bow or simply squeak an oath of allegiance.
Neither, brave Boo. How about we share a cheap brown ale and a hunk of fresh venison instead?
Ha! You see, Boo? I told you the Rashomar way was the right one.
Well, well. You making a curtsy out of me yet, Grand Duke Will Ravengard?
Forget the curtsy. I'd rather a cheap brown ale and a hunk of fresh venison. You in?
You're speaking my language.
So, Grand Duke to be, is it? Should I bow or do a little curtsy, perhaps?
Forget the curtsy. I'd rather a cheap brown ale and a hunk of fresh venison. You in?
Of course. Sounds better than most noble feasts.
Grand Duke Will Ravengard. Has a ring to it, doesn't it? I can't think of a better caretaker for the gate.
Grand Duke, is it? Oh. I'd follow Will into battle, sure enough. But politics... I think I am perhaps too faint of heart.
Nature cares little for nobility. It is pure artifice. But I can still hold some respect for Will's accomplishment. He shall be a fine duke, I am sure.
Well, Grand Duke Ravengard. A position like that comes with a lot of wealth and luxury. If you survive long enough to enjoy it.
Duke Will Ravengard. A moniker Will shall justly earn.
Seems like Will's a Grand Duke to be. I hope he remembers us little people after he's ascended.
If there's heroism to be found in politics, I'm sure Will'll find it. Somewhere.
It is good to have friends in high places. We should keep the future Grand Duke Ravengard close.
A noble chant, is it not? Hail Will, Grand Duke of Baldur's Gate! What do you mean, Boo? Of course the people have voted for Will. I think.
Grand Duke Will Ravengard. What a thrill. Imagine the statues they'll build, the songs that they'll sing. So, what's your first order of business, Sir Duke?
The Elder Brain is first on the list. Everything else will need to wait.
Yes. To kill the Absolute, to free the infected, to end the illithid grand design. Could there be a more heroic journey? But what about the next battle? And the next? How mighty will the stalwart blade be without warlock powers to help him? Tell me you haven't forgotten. Once the Absolute is no more, so is my aid. Well, perhaps I might stop by once a 10-day, see how the pup's getting along. A bit of infernal altruism, if you will. The thrill of the unknown. I can't wait to see what's in store for Baldur's Gate's newest Grand Duke.